Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Anatomy Vibes. Here you can see three images on the screen. Can you recognize the scientist? He is a great scientist named John Hunter. So, if you recognize this scientist, can you remember anything about him? Hunter. There is one anatomical structure named as Hunter. That is Hunter's Canal, present on the medial aspect of the thigh region. Hunter's Canal, also known as adductor canal or subsartorial canal. So the canal has been named after him because he discovered one aneurysm in that region, Hunterian aneurysm, in the region of Hunter's Canal due to dilatation of femoral artery in that region. So today we will study about that canal known as Hunter's Canal. Along with that, we will also cover one important fossa in the lower limb that is asked regularly, that is popliteal fossa. So John Hunter was from 13 February to 1728 to 16 October 1793, and he was a very great scientist. So moving forward, the topic for today lecture is adductor canal along with the popliteal fossa. So we will cover two topics today. One is adductor canal and second is popliteal fossa. Hope you will understood. So here is the objectives of today's lecture. We will study about the location, boundaries, content and some of the applied aspect about these two important anatomical landmarks or structures. So here you can see the thigh region, anterior as well as the medial aspect of the thigh. Here is the region of inguinal ligament and inguinal canal. So this is showing the muscle named as sartorius, which goes from anterior superior iliac spine to the medial surface of upper part of the tibia. So this is showing the sartorius muscle. Just deep to this sartorius muscle, almost on the middle one third of the thigh, this region we have the adductor canal shown as here. So just deep to the sartorius one canal is formed that is known as adductor canal. So here is the region of femoral triangle, which you already know, in between the sartorius, and this is adductor longus muscle. Here will be the inguinal ligament. So here is the region of femoral triangle. This is showing the adductor canal or subsartorial canal, the bluish structure, or Hunter's canal, just deep to the sartorius muscle. Further, if you see just back of the knee, in this region we have the popliteal fossa, almost quadrilateral in appearance or diamond shaped in appearance, popliteal fossa just behind the knee. So here we can see that femoral triangle is continuous with the adductor canal and the adductor canal will be continuous with the popliteal fossa. That means some of the structure from femoral triangle will pass through the adductor canal and then it will further pass through the popliteal fossa. So that continuation you have to understood. That if you understood that, that is very important. Continuation of femoral triangle with the adductor canal and then to the popliteal fossa. So all three will be continuous. Some structure will pass from femoral to the adductor and then will go to the popliteal fossa. Moving further, this image is very important. Dissected image showing the thigh region. So here you have to recognize this muscle. So this is the sartorius muscle. This muscle on both sides you can see. This is sartorius muscle going from ASIS to the medial part of upper 1/3 of the tibia. So almost in the middle of the thigh, just deep to the sartorius. If we reflect the sartorius here you can see some of the important structure, and this region is known as adductor canal deep to the sartorius. Here you can see some vessels and nerves. So this is showing the region of adductor canal. So hope you have understood this thing. Where is the location of adductor canal? So friends, this figure is extremely important to understand the adductor canal boundaries. So in this picture, you can see that right-sided lower limb has been cut here, almost in the middle of the thigh. And this is the medial aspect, this is the lateral aspect. Medially, you can see this region deep to the sartorius where blood vessel and nerves are there. This is showing the adductor canal. The same image has been enlarged here. So here what you can see, this muscle. So this is showing the sartorius muscle. Now laterally, this is lateral side. So laterally this muscle is vastus medialis. So you have to understand this. So this is showing the quadriceps muscle. So quadriceps muscle we have 4 in number. This is rectus femoris, this is vastus lateralis, this is vastus medialis, and this is vastus intermedius. So 4 quadriceps muscle together form quadriceps femoris. So this is vastus medialis. So just anterior and lateral to the sartorius here. So this position is anterolateral as compared to sartorius. So this is the vastus medialis. Now posteriorly you can see these two muscles. So this is medial side, medial compartment muscle. So medial compartment, what are the muscles? So this is showing the gracilis, and here these two muscles, adductor longus and adductor magnus. So this is adductor longus muscle and this is adductor magnus, and this is the region of adductor canal or subsartorial canal or Hunter's canal. Now we have to understand the boundaries. So you have to see that deep to the sartorius we have one fascia. Every muscle is covered by fascia. So here subsartorial fascia is there deep to sartorius. So this fascia forms the roof of this canal deep to the sartorius, subsartorial fascia. Now this is medial side. So these two muscles are medial as well as these are posterior. So posteromedially we have two muscles here, adductor longus along with adductor magnus. So posteromedially we have two muscles, adductor longus and adductor magnus. Now this muscle is anterior as well as lateral. Here is the lateral. So this is anterolateral. So anterolaterally we have one muscle, that is vastus medialis. So overall what we have here, roof is formed by, deep to the sartorius we have subsartorial fascia. So roof is formed by subsartorial fascia. Anterolateral boundary is formed by vastus medialis, and posteromedial boundary is formed by adductor longus as well as adductor magnus. So this is the overall boundary of subsartorial canal or adductor canal or Hunter canal. So hope you have understood. Now this fascia will go from where to where? It will go from vastus medialis to the adductor longus and adductor magnus. Clearly? From here to here this fascia is running, and inside we have contents of adductor canal that we will see further. So adductor canal, other names are Hunter canal and subsartorial canal. Where is the actual location? So it is located lower 2/3 of the medial side of the thigh. Extent, as we have discussed, it goes from apex of femoral triangle to, it has to reach the popliteal fossa through one hiatus. That hiatus is known as adductor hiatus, present in adductor magnus muscle. Through that, femoral artery will pass and become the popliteal artery. So this is going from apex of femoral triangle to adductor hiatus. What are the muscles we discussed? Sartorius, vastus medialis, adductor longus and adductor magnus. Moving further, actual boundary of adductor canal. Roof is formed by subsartorial fascia extending from vastus medialis to adductor longus and adductor magnus. Floor or posteromedial boundary is formed by two muscles, adductor longus and adductor magnus. Anterolateral boundary is formed by vastus medialis. So this is all about the boundaries. Hope you have understood this. Moving further. What are the contents of adductor canal? So as we have discussed, contents are actually coming from femoral triangle. So there we have femoral artery, femoral vein. So both are continuous with the adductor canal. So again here we will find femoral artery and femoral vein. Now femoral nerve gives one important branch, that is saphenous nerve. So this saphenous nerve will pass through the adductor canal. So one of the important content of this canal is saphenous nerve. Also vastus medialis is forming one boundary, so that will be supplied by some nerve. So nerve to vastus medialis will be here, and some of the branches of femoral artery and corresponding veins. So branches will go to the knee joint known as descending genicular artery, and it will also supply the muscles around that. So muscular branches will also come from femoral artery. So we have descending genicular branch and muscular branch of femoral artery along with the corresponding veins. So these are the contents of adductor canal. Now we have one important plexus here known as subsartorial plexus. This plexus is not the content of adductor canal. It is present in the roof, in the meshwork of subsartorial fascia. So this is not the content of the adductor canal. Actual content we have already discussed. So subsartorial plexus is present in the meshwork of subsartorial fascia in the roof of adductor canal. What are the nerves which is contributing to form this plexus? Plexus means network of nerve. So many nerves will come and form this plexus. So what are the nerves? So one important nerve we have discussed, saphenous nerve, which is the content of adductor canal. So that will give one branch. Now on the medial side of the thigh, the canal is there. So medial side we have cutaneous nerve, that is medial cutaneous nerve of thigh. So that will also contribute. Now on the medial compartment we have obturator nerve, which is supplying the muscles of the medial compartment. So anterior division of obturator nerve will also form this plexus. So we have three important nerves: saphenous nerve, medial cutaneous nerve of the thigh and anterior division of obturator nerve. These three will form subsartorial plexus. Very simple. And where this plexus is going to supply? So this plexus will supply the overlying cutaneous area and will also supply the knee joint. Simple. So friends, in this image you can clearly see the orientation of adductor canal. So this is cut section of thigh region from the almost middle of the thigh So this is medial aspect, this is lateral aspect, this is anterior, this is posterior. So anteriorly we have quadriceps femoris muscle, posteriorly we have hamstring group of muscle, laterally again the quadriceps muscles, and medially we have adductor group of muscles. So you have to recognize the muscles in this cut section. So anteriorly this small muscle you can see here, this is a straight head, that is rectus femoris, a straight muscle, rectus femoris. Medial to that we have vastus medialis, and lateral to that we have vastus lateralis, and deep to that we have vastus intermedius. So this is about these muscles. Now this muscle is sartorius. So this is sartorius muscle. Deep to that you can see the vessels and nerves in this region. So this is showing the adductor canal. And what is the boundary? Sartorius fascia here, subsartorial fascia. Laterally which muscle? Vastus medialis, and posteromedially these two muscles are here. This is adductor longus and this is adductor magnus muscle. So this is the adductor canal. Hope you have understood this. This is showing gracilis muscle and this is other hamstring group of muscles. Hope this is clear to you. Moving further. So some of the applied aspect we have to discuss. So the femoral artery is there in the adductor canal or subsartorial canal. So sometime this femoral artery can get dilated. Usually it gets dilated in the popliteal fossa, but it can also get dilated in the adductor canal region. And if there is dilatation of the artery, this part has to be removed because walls will get weaker and rupture can occur. Sudden hemorrhage will occur in that case. So we have to remove this part. So for removal of this part, we can use any vein like great saphenous vein, and that can be taken inside out. As you can see, these small points are showing valves of the saphenous vein because vein has been turned inside out, and then it can be joined at two ends and this part of the aneurysm will be removed. So these type of aneurysm can occur in this region. Another is subsartorial plexus block. So medial compartment of the thigh, adductor canal region in the roof just deep to the sartorius muscle, we can give anesthetic block to block the subsartorial plexus, and surgery on the medial side of the thigh can be done with this local anesthetic block. So hope this is clear. This is usually done under ultrasound guidance nowadays. So there is one question for you. All the following are correct regarding boundaries of adductor canal except. So boundaries we have discussed. Roof, subsartorial fascia, very simple. Floor. So floor we have discussed. Postero medial boundary we call it as floor. So that is formed by adductor magnus as well as adductor longus. Anterolaterally one muscle, that is vastus medialis. Anteromedial. So anteromedial boundary, this is not the boundary. This adductor longus is posteromedially placed. So this is incorrect option. This should be posteromedial, that is floor. Hope this is clear. Moving further. All the following nerves form subsartorial plexus except. So only three nerves we have discussed. Medial cutaneous nerve of the thigh on the medial side, obturator nerve on the medial side, which division? Anterior division, and content of adductor canal, saphenous nerve. So only these three nerves are there in the subsartorial plexus. Intermediate cutaneous nerve of the thigh is not there. So this will be the answer. Hope this is clear. Moving further. All the following are content of subsartorial canal except. So we are concerned here with the canal, subsartorial canal or adductor canal. So what are the content? Major artery and the vein. Femoral artery along with the femoral vein. Which nerve? Saphenous nerve. Also, vastus medialis is there. So nerve supplying the vastus medialis. Is obturator nerve is the content? No. Only the anterior division of obturator nerve is going and forming the subsartorial plexus. This obturator nerve is not the content of adductor canal. So hope this is clear to you. Moving further. So the next question is, which of the following is incorrect regarding the adductor canal? So we have 5 statements. So we have to recognize which is incorrect. Sartorius lies on facial roof. So this is very simple. Just below the sartorius we have subsartorial fascia. So sartorius lies over the facial roof. In the distal part of the canal, femoral vein is posterolateral to the artery. So this question has been purposefully given to understood this relationship. So just remember, in femoral triangle we have relation as vein, artery, nerve. Vein is medial, then the artery, most lateral is the femoral nerve. So in femoral triangle, femoral vein is medial. So when we are going from femoral triangle to adductor canal, vein will change its direction and it will go lateral. So from medial, vein is going to the lateral and it is always posterior. So femoral vein is posterolateral to the artery in the adductor canal. Further, on third, at all levels the artery lies between saphenous nerve and femoral vein. So you have to remember that vein is most deeper in the adductor canal. Then comes the artery and nerve is most superficial. So this is also correct. Next is the subsartorial plexus supplies overlying fascia lata and an area of skin above medial side of the knee. So this we have discussed. It will supply the medial side of the thigh skin and also the knee joint region, cutaneous supply. The adductors in the floor of the canal are adductor brevis above and adductor longus below. So as we have discussed that in the floor we have only adductor longus and adductor magnus. There is no adductor brevis. So this is incorrect option. Incorrect. Adductor brevis is not here. Moving further. We come to second topic, that is popliteal fossa. So you are seeing the back of the knee. So this is the region of popliteal fossa. So here you can see some of the muscles and content of popliteal fossa. So this is almost diamond shaped or quadrilateral in appearance, and here this is lateral side, this is medial side. Laterally you can see one muscle, this is biceps femoris muscle. Which muscle? Biceps femoris muscle. Medially you can see two muscles, one is semimembranosus and another is semitendinosus. So two muscles, semimembranosus and semitendinosus muscle. Below you can see one big muscle having two belly. So this is gastrocnemius muscle having lateral and medial heads. So lateral and medial head of gastrocnemius is there, which is present here. So we have four boundaries here: superolateral, superomedial, inferolateral, inferomedial. So superolateral we have biceps femoris, superomedial we have semimembranosus, semitendinosus. Inferolateral we have lateral head of gastrocnemius, inferomedial we have medial head of gastrocnemius. So this is about the boundary of popliteal fossa. Again here, when the muscle is retracted, we can clearly see some of the content. So this is tibial nerve, this is common peroneal nerve or common fibular nerve. And here you can see the branch, sural nerve, which coming from tibial nerve, and this is sural communicating nerve coming from common peroneal nerve joining the sural nerve. And deep to these nerves we have vein along with the artery, popliteal vein, popliteal artery, and artery is most deepest structure here. Popliteal artery will be most deepest, close to the bone. So hope you have understood the boundaries of the popliteal fossa. Again here, when all the muscles has been removed, then you can clearly see this is common fibular or common peroneal, this is tibial nerve and some of the branches, muscular branches. Deep to that we have vein and most deepest structure is the artery. So here you can see deepest structure, the artery along with the branches. So these are genicular branches, superior, inferior, inferolateral, inferomedial, superolateral, superomedial, genicular branches, and also one middle genicular branch. 5 genicular branches of popliteal artery will be there. All the muscles have been cut here, and most deepest we have one more muscle that is known as popliteus muscle. Popliteus muscle forms the floor of the popliteal fossa. So that we will see further. So what are the boundaries? So superolateral boundary is biceps femoris, superomedial boundary is semimembranosus, semitendinosus, inferolateral, lateral head of gastrocnemius, along with one more muscle is plantaris, which is present deep to the lateral head of gastrocnemius, plantaris muscle. Inferomedial we have medial head of gastrocnemius. So these are the boundaries of popliteal fossa. Moving further, we also have to know the floor and the roof. So in the floor means close to the bone, we have posterior surface of femur and one important muscle, popliteus muscle, and fascia over the popliteus muscle is there. Also we have posterior surface of tibia where the popliteus muscle is there, posterior surface of tibia. Also we have oblique popliteal ligament, oblique popliteal ligament. So these are the structure present in the floor. What about the roof? So in the roof we have a skin, simple, deep to that superficial fascia, then deep fascia and cutaneous nerve, which you have seen, sural cutaneous nerve. So main is the sural cutaneous nerve, sural nerve coming from tibial nerve, and one communicating nerve coming from common fibular or common peroneal nerve. So we also call these as medial and lateral sural cutaneous nerve. Now you have studied about great saphenous vein, but there is also one short saphenous vein, and short saphenous is shorter, so it will end in the popliteal fossa region, where in the popliteal vein. So this short saphenous vein has to enter the popliteal vein, so it is present in the roof of popliteal fossa. So it will pierce the roof and then will go to the popliteal vein and drain there. So these are a structure present in the roof of popliteal fossa. Moving further, content of popliteal fossa. So contents are very important. So what are the contents? Some of the contents you have seen. One is popliteal vessel, artery along with the vein. Simple. Most deep is the popliteal artery. Then tibial common fibular nerve you have seen. Short saphenous vein as we discussed. It will come, pierce the roof and then will go and supply drain into the popliteal vein. Sural nerves as you have seen, medial and lateral sural cutaneous nerves. Then one nerve, posterior femoral cutaneous nerve, which is coming right from the gluteal region, then supplying the posterior side of the leg, posterior femoral cutaneous nerve. That will also come through the roof usually, but some part will be forming the content of popliteal fossa. Now the obturator nerve is supplying the medial side of the thigh, muscles of the medial side of the thigh, but it also gives one branch that goes and supplies the knee joint, articular branch of the obturator nerve. So that is the content of popliteal fossa. Along with that, in popliteal fossa we have lot of lymph nodes, fat, and also some bursa will be there in relation to muscles to decrease the friction. So these are the content of popliteal fossa. Most important content is popliteal vessel, tibial and common fibular nerves. Moving further. So here you can see the actual relationship of the structures. So nerve is most superficial, then comes the vein, popliteal vein, then the popliteal artery. Again here you can see nerve is most superficial, then the vein, and artery is most deepest structure. Now one more thing. This is medial side, this is lateral side. You can see superiorly in the popliteal fossa, artery is medial, vein is lateral. But when we go down, artery goes lateral and vein goes medial. So in the femoral triangle, you have discussed that femoral vein is medial, femoral artery is lateral. But in the adductor canal, femoral vein goes lateral. And then in the popliteal fossa, again femoral vein from lateral side, again it is going to the medial side. So at 2 points there is change in direction. So first in the femoral triangle, vein is medial. In adductor canal, vein is lateral. And in popliteal fossa lower part, vein again comes medial. So hope it is clear. 2 times there is change in the direction. Nerve will be most superficial, artery will be deep. So hope this is clear to you. Moving further. So this is showing the how we palpate the popliteal artery in the popliteal fossa. Knee joint will be slightly flexed, and then by deep palpation posterior to the knee joint we will palpate the popliteal vessels artery. Hey, this is showing the arteriogram. This is dilated part of the artery in the popliteal fossa region, aneurysm. So hope this is clear to you, some of the clinical images. So here is one important question regarding the popliteal vessels, which is correct. Tibial nerve lies between the popliteal artery and the vein. So as we have discussed, tibial nerve is most superficial. So this is incorrect statement. Next, sural artery supplies soleus. So soleus is supplied by posterior tibial artery. Next, middle genicular artery supply cruciate ligament. So this is important. Popliteal artery has 5 genicular branches and middle genicular artery will supply the cruciate ligament. So this is correct. Lymph node lie alongside popliteal artery? Not. It will lie along popliteal vein. Popliteal artery enters the fossa on lateral side of the femur. So as we have discussed, at the apex of popliteal fossa, artery is medial. So it will enter on the medial side of the femur, not the lateral side. So again this is incorrect. So correct statement is C. Middle genicular artery supplies the cruciate ligaments. Hope this is clear to you. Regarding the popliteal fossa, the common peroneal nerve passes through lateral part of the fossa. So common peroneal is on the lateral side. So this is correct. Contains no lymph node. So this is incorrect. Has a roof pierced by tibial nerve. So tibial nerve never pierces the roof. Popliteal artery lies superficial to popliteal vein. So popliteal artery is deep. This is incorrect. Small saphenous vein joins the popliteal vein before its entry. No, after it enters the fossa, then it will join. So the most easiest option is common peroneal nerve passes through the lateral part of the fossa. Next. Now one more question. Regarding the popliteal fossa, which of the following statement is true? Common peroneal nerve slopes downward lateral to biceps tendon. So biceps tendon is lateral limit of popliteal fossa. Nerve will not go more lateral as compared to biceps tendon. So this is incorrect. Sural nerve is cutaneous branch of common peroneal nerve. So as we have discussed, sural nerve is branch of tibial nerve. So this is again incorrect. Middle genicular artery supply cruciate. So this is correct as we have discussed earlier. So C is correct. Popliteus muscle is supplied by branch of common peroneal, not branch of tibial nerve. Recurrent genicular branch nerve is a branch of tibial nerve. So this is again incorrect. Recurrent genicular nerve is branch of common peroneal nerve. So hope this is clear to you. Moving further. Popliteal artery is superficial to tibial nerve? No. Artery is most deep. Extend from hiatus in adductor longus? No. Hiatus is there in adductor magnus. Enter the popliteal fossa on lateral aspect of femur? No. On the medial aspect of the femur. Has 4 genicular branches? No. It has 5 genicular branches. Supplies a cruciate ligament? Correct. Via the middle genicular artery, it will supply the cruciate ligaments. So this is the correct option. Hope this is clear to you. So as you can see here, adductor canal block, where anesthetic block is given to subsartorial plexus and the nerves of adductor canal, that is helpful on the surgery on the medial aspect of the thigh, also on the knee joint, and also for the post-operative analgesia. This block has been used. So that's why this canal is very important. And also the popliteal fossa is important because clinically popliteal artery aneurysm can occur in that region, and in some cases that has to be removed. So you have to clearly know the anatomy of adductor canal and popliteal fossa, and also the relationship between the arteries and the vein and the nerve. Hope this is clear to you, and keep liking, keep subscribing my channel. I will be coming with more and more videos with clear cut anatomical description. Thank you very much.